already know what today is. It's Monday, you know what I mean? So it's Rod Uncensored presents the swag homies. You know, I got my favorite tour guide, Cwells, in here. And
what's up? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
You gotta bring that motherfucking soldier rag, boy.
There you go, the big soldier.
Oh no, Jamie G,
the big soldier.
Yo, God damn. Come on, man. You gonna do him like that, man?
It's on now.
Jamie G nearly in this bitch tonight.
Oh, Uncle Neely in the house.
But man, let's unpack a couple suitcases on this HBC Legacy Bowl game. What's your thoughts about it, man? Who popped out on film for y'all and being
off rip, man? Xavier Smith had a big game, man. He scored he caught the only touchdown in the game. I think he caught like 6 or 7 passes, 75, 80 yards. Had a really solid game, man. He returned some kicks and punts. He was just all over the place, man. He's been active. I know his name had been ringing bells all week in practice, and he carried it over to the game. On the defensive side, everybody on the defensive line on Team Robinson, that was the SWAC and SIAC team. Mainly it was all SWAC dudes, but everybody on the D line, bro, they was eating all game long. I'm talking about Justin Reagan, Nelson Jordan from Alabama State, Jason Dumas from Southern, Cameron Peterson from Southern, Kevin Victorian from Prairie View. Man, they Jordan Lewis, all those guys were routine in the backfield. Ronnie Thomas, they all put in work on the defensive line. Quarterbacks could not do anything. Neither team could run the football. It was a defensive game, man. I hope the offenses can start to catch up in this game, but defensively, the defenses they shined all night.
So what about that tackle for Arkansas Pine Buff? Did he look good?
Mark Evans?
Yeah, we just get beat up.
Oh no, man, he hold his own. He gonna always he's a guy always gonna hold his own. I thought, for the most part, pretty much a lot of the offensive line guys who I kind of keep my eyes on, they all had pretty good games. Like I said, it's just that defensive front on Team Robinson was just too much for the Team Gaither, which is like the MEAC guys and CIAA guys. They just, when you see what the defensive lines in the SWAC been like last season, with so many teams registering 25 plus sacks on the season, so the D line play was tremendous. Secondary didn't have to do a lot of work because the quarterbacks never really got free.
What about you, Jamie G? What did you see, man? Jamie G. Neely, what did you see, man?
Yeah, man, what's your boy? Hey, I was glad to see like Nelson Jordan really have a good game, man. I thought he was a pretty good defensive lineman there that was flying under the radar. Also too, I was looking for Ronnie Thomas and Jordan Lewis, and they had a really good, outstanding game, man. A really great, outstanding game. I kind of figured the defenses were going to show out a little bit more because of the limited time in practices anyway. Because of these all-star games, you ain't really don't see that much offense. But I think Xavier Smith, like Cwells was saying, hey, I think he upped his draft stock in this game, man. I mean, I am not surprised at all because I thought that he wasn't getting the proper shine he was supposed to be getting because overshadowed by certain guys. But I think he's going to be somebody. He's going to be on somebody's NFL roster, man.
Yeah, I think he's a guy, man. He can line up inside. He got the speed. If you put him outside, he can get separation. And he's a pretty solid route runner too. So, he gonna make things happen. He just kept finding ways to get open and make plays. Like I said, you expect, especially in the first half, you expect for the defense to be ahead, but the offense has never really clicked because they just didn't get the time to get anything going. And neither team could run the ball. I think they combined for like 30 yards rushing on the night. So, that's not going to help nobody. But I thought, I was impressed with a lot of guys as far as, guys making plays, watching where they was playing certain guys. Some guys didn't really get to shine in the game, but they had good weeks of practice. And I think it's just a good thing for everybody, man. It was nice. Weather was nice. The crowd wasn't as great as I thought it would be, but it got bigger as the game went on. So I thought it was a really good day, man. I enjoyed myself.
So whose stock do you feel like dropped by this game? Anybody's stock dropped from the not showing up in the game, or?
I won't necessarily say nobody's stock went down, but it was a couple guys for various reasons didn't really get to show a lot. None of the running backs really had a chance to really do much because of the simple fact that they just don't, they didn't get any carries really. I thought CJ Bollard had a couple opportunities that he dropped a key pass on the third down, which is not like him, but he didn't get a lot of opportunities. Other than that, man, I thought, like I said, I don't think nobody really had a bad outing. It's just situations out of your control where, you don't get the touches that you probably would get and you don't have the time, because you don't have the chemistry with the guys. But I thought everybody held their own for the most part.
I just wondered about this. I watched a little bit of the game. I ain't gonna lie, I watched a little bit, probably like the first to second quarter. But the quarterback play, we got to get that to step up, man. I just felt like the throws were a little off to me. You know what I mean? I might not have been all the way there, but it is from the visual of the game, watching from the TV, look like the throws are off. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, quarterback play was really not good. It was adequate. I don't think they had a really good crop of quarterbacks to pick from this year, so they really were just getting guys in who, with arms, especially for practice. Because I talked to Blue from the Blue Bloods. I talked to him before the game, and he was saying how a lot of quarterbacks didn't look good in practice. Missing easy throws, and when you don't have, you don't have the chemistry with your receivers, you don't have the line protection that you used to, and you're not a stellar guy. You're gonna see those missed throws. You're gonna see guys missing assignments, and there was a ton of penalties in that game too. So offensively, it just was a mixed bag. You had to kind of pick and choose what you were looking for. I looked at the quarterback roster before the game, and I was like, ugh. The quarterback roster didn't impress me, and I kind of got from that what I expected because nobody really was a guy that just stood up, and took charge.
Yeah, I think, and also the trench play, I saw some good little things, but again, you gotta make sure the offensive line get their chances too. When I mean like run the ball, like you said, didn't have a long practice, but you still got to get them looks for the offensive linemen to show they can run block, they can pass block. You know what I mean? For the scouts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like they didn't. I don't really think they committed to the run as much as they could. You had, I think every quarterback on the roster on both teams were, guys who can run, and I don't think they really used their legs a lot. And they definitely didn't get a backs a lot of carries. So you really was just looking at guys in pass protection, which when you got a defense that's playing on 3rd and 18. You already know what they about to do. And when you got guys who are certified sack machines, it's hard to keep them kind of guys from getting to the quarterback eventually. So it just, it really was a position where the offensive line wasn't really put into a great position to be successful.
Yeah, man. But what players, what players were on defense for each team were spotlighted players? You said for the SWAC, what corners were out there? Got a lot of snaps. Do you know?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna be 100 with you, man. I only really paid attention to the SWAC guys. You know what I'm saying? Because I was,
out there.
But Nugget had a solid game. He had a couple opportunity to return kicks, but he played well in coverage. Keyron Kinsler from Alcorn at safety. He had a couple pass breakups. Ray Estes from Grambling, he played corner. He had a couple pass breakups. Corian Harris from Southern, he had a couple of nice tackles playing safety, and he played, he played center field for the defense, directing the defense, getting the guys lined up. Honestly, man, everybody.
Keenan Isaac? Did he show up?
Yeah, he got a couple opportunities. Like I said, when you look at what the D line was doing, man, me and you could have covered receivers. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have, I mean, honestly, bro, if you got a guy, if you got a offensive line that ain't gelled together, they ain't got a lot of chemistry. But you got a guy like Jason Dumas in the middle who is gonna get penetration. You got Ronnie Thomas outside. You got Justin Reagan outside. Those guys are Nelson Jordan, who had 10 sacks last year to lead the league. You can't block those guys, one-on-one. And your corners are solid, so they did a pretty good job. Nobody really made any bad plays. They might have had a bust or two because, guys just not used to playing in certain defenses. But I don't think nobody really made themselves look bad,
I feel like next year is going to be better, man. With the overall, with the defensive players coming out next year, I think it's going to be a little bit better. Hopefully, the quarterback play, that's always going to be iffy on both sides. But what does he classify the guy from Central? Ain't he like a junior this year?
I think he's a senior this year.
Senior this year.
Yep, senior.
But like you said, I think this is going to be a especially on the offensive side. Well, really, on both sides of the ball, every year is going to be a give and take, depending on where the star power is. And this season, the star power was on defense. Offensively, they didn't have a lot of big name guys out there on either side.
Kamari didn't play.
No, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. Honestly, the really only big name I would say is Xavier Smith on offense. I mean, it's a guy that everybody knows. A guy like CJ Bolar is a guy some people know. Everybody may not be familiar with his game. Isaiah Cox from Alabama A&M, a lot of people don't know who he is. It was just like a lot of guys. Ja'Cory Rankin had a couple nice catches too, but he never really had the opportunity to show that speed that he got. But I thought, for the limited appearance, the limited time everybody had, I thought they did, they got the most out of what they could do.
So, do you think Ronnie can get a chance in the league, man? Don't you think he's gonna be a free agent, rookie signing, or you think somebody gonna take a chance on him, man? I like him.
I like him a lot, man. I don't know where he fits. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not. He may be more of a linebacker than a defensive end.
Yeah, I don't like him putting his hand in the dirt. I don't think.
Yeah, so I think his ability, his athleticism, and he's a relentless guy in pursuit. So I think he'll get a shot, but I think he's gonna probably be more of a undrafted camp guy that can come in and show what he can do. He's gonna have to be able to kind of show different things outside of what he's already done. But I mean, I love his game. He's just a guy who he's just gonna make plays because he played on a defense that everybody knew where he was at, and he still was able to make plays. So he's just a relentless guy. But I don't know exactly where he fits on a defense.
So who are some locks right now for you to think we're gonna have some representation in the draft? Who are the locks right now for y'all?
Well, I'm gonna let Jamie G go first.
For me, I know a lock. Definitely a lock is Aubrey Miller. I think Aubrey Miller is a definite lock. I think Isaiah Land is gonna be a definite lock too. And I think Mark Evans from UAPB is a definite lock. And also too, and I think this probably is no particular order, but I think Shaq Davis, I think he's gonna get a shot, man.
Yeah,
I know he's definitely lock.
I would go with those guys, and I would probably throw Jadakiss Bonds in there because he's a guy who's a bigger body guy. And I don't want to call him a lock, but everybody loving his attributes and everything, and that's Nugget, man. He got a lot of rave reviews this week because of his athleticism and his measurables and everything.
And that 4-3, that 4-3 helps too.
Yeah. So I mean, when you look at what he can do physically, he's a physical guy. He's not scared to stick his nose in there and tackle. He can return kicks. He can do whatever you need. I mean, some people say he was one of the better defensive backs there. So I don't want to say he's a lock, but I think he's a guy who really gonna be able to get his name in the mix. But those guys that Jamie G named is pretty much everybody who I think I know for sure. I would not be surprised. I would be surprised if they didn't get their name called. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, and I want to add, I think another potential lock, as we always know, I think Isaiah Bolden is.
God damn, you stole my shit, man. God damn.
Yeah, from what I heard, man, from what scouts and everything been saying about him, because he's long and lengthy. And he can play. Yeah, he plays different. He can play different spots on the field, and also he's good at special teams. So I think he's definitely. I see about 7 round pick maybe.
I like him. What y'all think about this, man? I like him in the slot, as a slot corner, or I would like him at the strong safety because he can, get on the tight end.
Down the hit.
Yeah, tight end.
I love him anywhere like inside because he's physical, and he's gonna be able to rough up a slot guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he's big enough and to stay with tight ends, and he got the speed to outmaneuver them. So I think anywhere like that he'll do well because he has good speed and he has good size. And like I said, you cannot discount the fact that he can return kicks very well. That's like a cheat code for a guy like that. So you can have a long career in the NFL just doing that. So that gets you in the door, and his measurables are going to be great. A lot of people are going to fall in love with that, and the speed, is going to be there. So I think he's in a good spot, man. I think he's a guy who, again, he's on that short list of guys that if he did not get drafted, I would be looking a little funny because I just feel like he's a guy who really stepped his game up last season. We knew what he could do. If you've seen him before, you knew what he could do, but he really stepped his game up last season.
What about what y'all been hearing about Dallas Daniels? I haven't really been hearing nothing. I noticed I think it was the East-West Shrine game or something like one of the bowls. All-Star games. Coach Belichick was, he talked with him. I would like to bring him in. I think only thing I worry about him, he loses his focus too much for me with the drops, and that's what worries me. But like you said, Jadakiss Bond, you can't teach 6'4".
A guy like a guy with great size, you're more apt to take a chance on him because, like you said, you can't teach height. A guy with good height and questionable hands is a lot more valuable to teams than a short guy with great hands because they feel like you can win those one-on-one 50-50 balls if they get you to do that, and that's something that you can specialize in. But like you said, I think the lack of focus from time to time is definitely going to hurt. I had heard his name, Dallas Daniels. I heard his name a few times in the practice. I think it was a Shrine Bowl. But didn't really hear nothing from him in the actual game, so I don't know how he did.
What about Kamari Everett? You don't think he's gonna get a chance or look? What's your thoughts about him, Kamari Everett? I think he'll get a look. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna get drafted. I don't think so.
Again, numbers. He's got the size, and he's got I think his biggest problem last year was the last 2 years, honestly, was his offense wasn't great. He almost had 1,000-yard season the year before, so his numbers took a big drop last year because they played a bunch of quarterbacks until they decided on Jalen Jones about mid-season. So, and I never understood why those guys, even though they weren't great, you should know what number one is, and you should be trying to get the ball to him more than anybody, even when you're an inexperienced quarterback, because you need that safety blanket, And his numbers just never really was there this season. So, if you're looking at it from that aspect, then yeah, I can see, I can kind of see him falling off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, physically, again, he's a guy I think physically that does what you want. He's almost like a receiver playing tight end. So, if you're looking for a guy that's gonna really get up there and work in the run game, I don't know how he's gonna do with that. But if he's a guy that you can spread him out, all he can get out and run, run some routes from the tight end spot. So I think he's a pretty solid guy to get a camp opportunity.
Man, I only running back I really see getting out the swag and getting drafted, man. I'm sorry to say this, but Howard out of Alcorn, man, I think he's a dog where he can make a team at running back, man. What other running backs you can see in the future get a chance, or even players in general that can see their dogs, you can see them play on Sunday?
If you're just forecasting for the future, I'm gonna put a caveat in this: is if this guy doesn't get hurt, because he's had a few injuries. But that's Bubba Adams from Alabama State. Mm-hmm. That guy's a really great linebacker, man. He's like a, and I'm not really saying it because he's white, but he's like a Luke Kuechly kind of dude. He's always around the football. You know what I'm saying?
That's the white boy right there, be popping off him. Oh yeah,
that's him.
Yeah,
so I don't want to. I'm not saying he's like Luke Kuechly because he's white, but he's that kind of guy. Like, you remember how Luke Kuechly was, anybody like that that's always, when the player's over, he's always in the mix, and he's a guy who's gonna get out there and stick his nose in it. His problem at the last couple of years has been injury. So if he can stay healthy, he's an all-swag guy easily. But that's one of the guys I'm really looking forward to. I think it could get a good opportunity. Like you said, Howard from Alcorn is another guy. And at some point, if he gets on the field, Malachi Wideman, bro, like, that's an athlete. That's like you said, you can't teach size. He can win 50-50 balls. He's a red zone threat. So you can't teach that. And he knows how to go up and get the ball. Now he just got to get the opportunity. So if he gets his opportunity, then I think he's destined for that.
I think Niles Gaddy. Niles Gaddy.
Yeah, I think he improved a lot last season.
A lot. I feel like he's that dog where he can get it done, man.
Now, if you remember his first year at JSU, he was in the backfield a lot, but he never got a sack. He always came up short. He would be a step slow, a step out of position. But last season, he put some things together, and I think he figured out how to make those plays. So I think he's gonna, improve again. He's gonna have more opportunities, and he's a guy who, he didn't play before he got to JSU, so he's learning on the job, and he's a guy I think gonna be a guy to keep an eye on too.
I think Antonio Doyle, Gervonta Davis, I feel like they could be pros, man.
Yeah, I think especially Davis, man, that dude's a monster. A name I'm gonna throw out for probably a couple years from now is Adrian Maddox from Alabama State. The kid was an all-conference guy at safety as a freshman. Big time player as a freshman. He's only gonna get better. So, that's a guy I can see, improving and becoming that type of player as he develops. Because when you can put up those kind of accolades as a freshman, that speaks a lot for your talent.
Hey, Jamie G, what happened with Norm Douglas, man?
Norm Douglas, he graduated, and
but he already had another year or two, right?
Yeah, right. He's transferring. He's in the transfer portal looking for another opportunity.
Why did he not stay though?
Man, the one word, Jason Brown. Another word, Philip Short. Number 3, Zion McDonald. I mean, that's where, man. To be honestly, man, I kind of feel like Norman Davis never really he never fitted our offense.
But
I think he was just having to be a
homeboy.
Yeah.
Why did Herman Smith leave, man?
I guess he must got homesick, man. I'm still kind of sad that he left. That he decided to leave because he ended up going to Idaho State. Mm-hmm. So I guess maybe he wanted to get a little closer to his family, man. And Barron Hobson, was another guy that transferred out to it with the Kennesaw State. It looked like a lot of the guys that transferred out decided they want to get. Maybe they got a little bit closer to home since Dion had left. So,
hey, it
just Not
to be funny though, man. But why Caleb Jolivet stayed, man? I really don't see where he's going to play at.
Hey, Caleb Jolivet got that speed though.
Where you going to play? We're going to take return. We're going to return.
Real speed.
Where you going to return?
Yeah. You can put him in return. You can put him in a slot. You can put him in the backfield. I mean, I think this time you're gonna be able to see a lot of the players that you didn't get to see last year.
What about Mullins? You think Mullins gonna get some tread, man? Well, he was hurt the whole year. What happened with him? Key Mullins came out of South Carolina.
With that tight end?
Yeah, the tight end, the undersized tight end.
Yeah. DJ Stevens was the primary guy.
And he came back too, right?
Yeah. DJ Stevens will be back, man. It's just so much. There's so much competition at these positions, man. But I think TC gonna be able to really know what to do with certain guys because I think they're gonna more so fit his offense than Barcelona. Barcelona was more so of that air raid type, routes. Mm-hmm. I think TC gonna be able to use these guys more so based off their athletic ability. You're gonna see what they're good at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'll say this: that offense. I mean, and this is obvious, but that offense flourished because of the talent level. Because they did not do anything that was tough for anybody to stop on paper. You to stay at a Disney resort hotel. Oh, sorry, y'all. On paper, their philosophy wasn't tough, but obviously when you get the guys on the field and you had a quarterback like Shador that could make throws and make adjustments ahead of time, your offense clicks a little bit more. But they did have some moments where they didn't really be as explosive as they could have been. I think the offense will probably be more consistent this season.
You a Cowboy man, Cwells. If you was a GM, what player are you picking out the SWAC, man?
If I'm Dallas and I'm picking anybody, man, I'm looking for me. I'm looking for I'm looking for some dogs in the secondary, honestly, man. So
what dog you grabbing? What dog you grabbing?
That's what like I said, the guy I would love to grab, he left from the SWAC, man. That's Isaiah Hamilton. that's a guy. I think that's an NFL guy.
I'm saying now the SWAC, man. You gotta.
No, I'm just saying he was SWAC last season. He left him with the UTSA, so I wish he stayed. Then I could have been like, just like that.
Huh? He went to Houston.
Yeah, he went to Houston. I forgot because his first offer was from you. His first offer was from UTSA. That's why I got that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know who fits that mold this season, man.
You wouldn't give Aubrey Miller or Isaiah Land a chance? That's what
you mean guys coming out right now?
Yeah, out of secondary, whatever you
right now. Right now I'm drafting Aubrey Miller, man. That ain't even. I get fired drafting him because I just feel like he gonna bring a level of toughness to the team that they need. You know what I mean? You got Micah Parsons who is a freak, and you got Van Der Esch who's a solid guy, but you need that. Huh?
We see what we seen out of him, man.
I feel like he give you what he give you, but he gonna give you everything he got.
And which might be 6 games, might be 5 games 1 year.
Exactly. So you hope he put them together at the right time. Like he got healthy this season by the end of the season. So you can't count on a guy like that game in and game out. So I would love a guy like Aubrey Miller that can come in and even if he don't start, he gonna be able to take advantage of the snaps that he get. So somebody like that. Or if you're looking at offensive line, I'll take Mark Evans because you can never have enough offensive linemen.
Jamie G, what about Duval? What would you grab if you was a GM, man?
Well, you already know. One of our problems in Duval was the pass rush, and I would take definitely a guy like Auburn Miller. Also, Nelson Jordan would be a good pickup for us as well. I would like Nugget. So somebody like Keenan Isley, like one of those physical corners in the backfield. And also too, I like Zayden because I think Trevor need another. I think he needs another couple of weapons.
That's a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's a Ferrari.
That's what's up, But also too, like Cwells said, I always mark Evans. So I can see Evans and Kamari Avery too, because I think we probably could use another tight end to complement Evan Ingram as well. So that's what I would like to see.
I mean, I would love to take take Zay, but I don't trust Dak to give him the ball. So, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? This guy's not in swag, man. But I like that motherfucker Tucker Craft, South Dakota. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
He's a big boy. He's a big boy. How's basketball going right now in the SWAC, man? Break that down, man.
Oh, we coming down to the end, man. We down to the last 3 games of the season. Actually, they got games going on tonight. I'm kind of keeping up with Southern. They playing Florida A&M right now. It's a 1-point game, Southern behind, but it's tight, man. All corner Grambling fighting it out for the number 1 spot on the men's side. It's like 8 teams go to the tournament, but it's like 11 teams still got a shot at making it. So it's gonna come down to the last day, which is Saturday. So I think it's gonna be, there's a lot of basketball. It's not a lot of basketball left, but there's a lot of important games that's left. And right now, I think Grambling is the best team in the league right now. But Alcorn is I wouldn't say they're playing better, but they were defending champs from the regular season last year, so you never count out that. But Grambling is a very, very good team this year, so they are not.
So what is the Ed Reed fire? What was his record he finished up with? Reggie Theus.
Reggie Theus. What
the record is right now?
They battling it out for that last playoff, their last tournament spot. They beat Southern on Saturday to help their case. They right now they are 7-9 in conference, so they pretty much fighting it out for that number 8 spot with Texas Southern. They didn't make the tournament last year, so if he made it this year, that'd be their first time making it since they've been in the SWAC. So he got a really solid team. I don't know. I don't think he's the right coach for that team because they got some shooters. They got some shooters, man. I've seen them play two times in person, and they got shooters. But then they brought in a couple of really nice size guys as freshmen. But I just think he spread himself too thin right now, man. Like you can't be on the road coaching basketball when you got the Ed Reed situation going on. Your attention is divided, So I just don't see him being able to do both. I think you need to really step away from one or the other.
So my question to both y'all.
Yep.
Does Tamika Reed get over the hump and get a win
in the tournament?
In the tournament,
with the right matchup, yes.
What would be the right matchup for both y'all?
Honestly, as long as they don't end up in Baton Rouge again, I think they're gonna or Columbia, anywhere like that. If they can get a 15 seed, or maybe even a 14, I don't know if they can get that, but if they can get a 15, I think they got a better chance. Because the team has great size. There's not a lot of basketball teams on any women's level that got 3 or 4 girls that start as over 6 foot, and are very agile and athletic. So, and they play good defense. They shoot a lot better this season. I can see them winning. I can see them pulling off a win. Like I said, depending on who the team is they play, I don't even know I really would call it a big upset. But I think they can win a game this season. I mean, like they should have won last year. So I think they got a good chance though.
What about you, Jamie G?
Yeah. Like I agree with Cwells, man. If they get at least a 15 seed or maybe a possible 14 seed, they probably had to go through the head to make sure they win that tournament though for sure. Because that's the only way but I think as long as it's probably in the LSU, it'll probably a team that's kind of smaller than JSU. Because JSU got some big girls. I didn't realize it was that freaking big. And then they can shoot, man. They shoot way better than
So Jamie G, so you saying Ball City didn't have no chance regardless. That's what he's saying.
I'm sorry. You know that, right?
Oh, I was just checking the temperature in the room. But go ahead.
She was a good, Boston was a good shooter, but I mean, but it wasn't. Not right now, man. The Jack State, they can go to their bench too and still give you some issues, man. It just, oh man, I don't understand why these coaches don't understand the formula, man. Jackson State is giving them the formula, bro, on what they need to do, and ain't nobody. Feel like they can't see it, man.
Oh, they see it
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like it's certain girls. Like I'm watching Texas Southern Alcorn right now, right? Man, you can't be out there. You can't be no thick girl, man, playing center like that, bro. That ain't go. You ain't athletic, bro. It ain't gonna work.
I'm gonna put it like this: if you're gonna do that, you need to surround her with quick guards and you can if you're gonna have a big girl in the middle that's not tall, because that's what Southern got. They surround her with athletic girls. Like the forwards and guards are all real shifty and quick, and they trap a lot. They force a lot of turnovers, and they make the game really ugly. Because Southern not the best offensive team in women's basketball, but they make the game ugly. They don't mind playing. They don't mind scoring 50 points, 45 points. And they can keep themselves in games like that. It's just once it becomes an up-tempo type of thing and they have to score, then they really start to have some problems because Southern play JSU strong all the time, but they can't score on them because JSU size, makes it tough to score inside. They force you to be a jump shooting team. And excuse me. And if you can't do that, then you just gonna really have a tough time beating that team. I mean, like Jamie G said, the formula is there. A lot of coaches don't wanna go that route for whatever reason. They want to do what they want to do, and they see it's not really working, but they still gonna bang their heads against the wall.
I just don't understand, man. This is a sport where everybody can win in HBCUs. Women basketball, man, that's even on everywhere. You know what I mean? Girls are more even, you know what I mean? That and guys, it's easy to find somebody to shoot, play defense, who does not have the grades to go to LSU. You understand what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? So it's more easy because, to get the spotlight in basketball and baseball and others like that. It's more harder in football to get them eyes like that. You know what I mean?
And basketball, you only need 8 people, really. You know what I'm saying? If you can go 9 or 10 deep on your bench, then hey, you doing damn good. But if you can get you a solid 8-person rotation in the SWAC, you can win with that. Because really all you have to do is split your road games. You get 9 road games. You split that, go 5 and 4 on the road, and win the bulk of your home games. You in the thick of the race. That's the key. That's the formula. It's been that way since I was little. If you can go undefeated at home or lose 1 game or maybe 2 at the most and win half of your road games, because you play 2 games on the road every weekend, you go 1-1 on them and come out of that 5 and 4 and maybe lose 1 game at home. That's 5 losses. You in the mix of, you in the thick of the race. So it's simple. It's not rocket science, man. But everybody right now is trying to reinvent the wheel. All you like Jamie G say, all you need is size, man. And the same thing in men's basketball. Get you a solid presence inside, a guy that you can count on to get that bucket when you need it inside, and a guy who can rebound, couple shooters, space the flow, and you good, man. You play pressure defense because a lot of guards, they don't have a lot of good point guards in this league. Play pressure defense, they're gonna turn it over, and you good to go.
But you look at the simple shit like Ja Morant. He went to Murray. That's not no big ass powerhouse. So if you get some studs, you get some studs. You get a couple of them drafted. You know what I mean? You got the spotlight. Look, like you said, Ja Morant. It's basketball easier to get people drafted than not. You know what I mean? Than the NFL and shit like that. So you definitely need to invest in that basketball, man.
Yeah, and like I said, man, one of the things about basketball is all you need is a system. If you look at Texas Southern under coach Johnny Jones, that team is always going to be in the mix because they got a system. He played 9 or 10 guys. They all play pretty even minutes as much as they can. Everybody scores between 8 and 12 points a game, you know, so anybody can be the guy. You know, you buy into his system, you're going to play defense, you're going to rebound, you're going to shoot the ball well, and you're going to play smart. Now, their team was hurt this season, so their record ain't that good, but they in the mix now, and they one of the more deadly teams sitting there like 6 or 7 seed, but it's a formula, man. You find you a formula that work and you stick with it, you can build a team and you good. If you want to look at a good formula right now, Grambling plays tremendous defense. Oh, yeah. They are ranked nationally in a lot of defensive categories. They're physical. They can play a nice zone defense when they need to, but they got good inside guys and they got tenacious guards, man. They got guards that can get in your chest, you know, cover Baton Rouge guys at that position. This is a basketball city for the South. So anybody come out of here is always going to be a hungry guy when it comes to basketball, but they got something that works, and they when they went to Vandy and won the game, and went to where they beat Colorado at home, so they can win those kind of games. I throw that in there.
Man, don't take Neely's pass to JSU. Now you throwing shots. Man, Jamie G, why you borrowed from Coach? You know what I mean? Doing the field pregame and all that at Jackson State. Why is he banned? I gotta know the inside scoop, man. Why is he banned? Free Neely. What happened, man?
Neely know what's up?
Oh man.
Neely could have handled this a lot different, bro.
That's it.
He could have got that bag and you know kept things however you want to keep it. But once you show up and you, Jamie G, you know I said this before. He was in Colorado with an orange shirt on Monday. Tuesday he was Colorado down, bro. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
But
that's it.
God damn.
It ain't take but one day. That's a wrap, bro. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, that make people feel a type. That make people feel a certain way, you know, and it you know that might not have been his intention, but that's the perception. And you know with us.
Go ahead. Is Charles Bishop good in the hood, man? Are you just kicking the whole trio? Are you kicking the whole trio? He's good.
Yeah, it's just, man.
Because it's like my D. They both prodigy. You gotta.
I had to come back on camera for this. But look, this your boy Neely need to stop messing with Tyler Carr, because every time he pop on there with Tyler Carr, he get in trouble, man.
But the crazy thing is, bro, they don't even rock like that. Right. They got a show that they never do. But anytime Neely need to get something off, he go to Tyler, bro. So I just think he could have got that bag, bro. And he said it himself. Oh, I'm in both places. So you could have got that bag and made your logo white. You know what I'm saying? And play both sides, bro. You change your logo to black and gold. What do that look like, bro?
Right, man. Like you switched off. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
you could have called one the pregame show, and the other one could have been the Buffalo show.
Yeah, you could have had anything, bro. And you change your color black and gold, and you ain't no alpha. So come on, you can't even play that card, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could have, like you said, bro. You could have had 2 different shows. I mean, it don't take nothing to do it. You could have had 2 different shows and got extra money. Exactly. But once you did that, when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. There's no coming back from that, man. And going on and doing the interview, that only made it worse, bro. That only made it worse.
Yeah.
So what is like? I just wonder, because we all know Prom's 55 years old, man. He's up there in the age. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna be no Joe Paterno. Would y'all ever have a forgiving heart? I know y'all on the side, y'all on the, you know what I mean, Bible Belt in Mississippi. Will y'all ever have a forgiving heart? So let him come back.
Come back.
Will he be able to eat some hot water cornbread with y'all, man?
He could come back with Neely and go to as many games as they want, because Neely be at the basketball game, so he could come back.
Man, listen.
Because the money gonna stop eventually. I'm just being real.
I feel like this. This is honestly what I see, and we're gonna put this on wax. When Shedeur, if he ever makes it to the league, Prime won't stop coaching.
I mean, I can see it, because my whole philosophy always was centered around Shedeur, bro. I always felt like he would leave JSU when Shedeur left. It was always a possibility of him leaving earlier, but I really didn't think that would happen until I saw him on 60 Minutes, and he was saying I'd be crazy not to listen to no job offers. Okay, well, nah, I hear you. You telling these white people, give me money.
Hey, basically. But let me ask you this: you both y'all Florida State guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like y'all fumbled it? Do you feel like you fumbled that?
Nope. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead, break that down, man.
Okay, if you look at what he's doing now, recruiting, hey, you can't knock that. But he was in a bad place with a lot of heavy movers and shakers out there, bro. He had a lot of bad blood at Florida State that them people wasn't gonna rock with him. And coming after Willie Taggart, I don't think a black coach will ever be at Florida State again, bro. I'm just keeping it real.
I'm just saying this, but that's the house he built. Him and Charlie Ward.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm just saying they build it,
bro. I agree, because he's the reason why I even fell in love with Florida State.
Okay.
I grew up watching him play at Florida State. Yeah. I didn't know nothing about Florida State. I live in Baton Rouge. I grew up in Baton Rouge. They used to play LSU. That's how I knew Florida State and Deion Sanders. But a lot of people who hold some serious positions, though, they won't let it go. Because a lot of people was upset that Willie Taggart had brought him around. They felt like he was being disingenuous as far as they concerned, because, he didn't rock with them. He had problems with them. But now you come around when this guy comes around, and people was cool, but, Willie Taggart left on bad terms. So that, that don't help. I just don't see, maybe. Well, then the Travis Hunter thing. So that's a wrap.
Well, that's a wrap. All right. So let me ask you this. ULM ain't looking good. Do you see Bobby Little Boy getting fired?
No, because they don't care about football.
They don't care about football in Monroe. They don't care about football in Monroe.
They don't care about football. If they did, man, they'd be FCS still. They don't care about football, man. They don't. I'm gonna tell you the only thing they concerned about, and that's beating UL Lafayette every year, which they don't do that often. That's their big rival. That's their only concern, man. They was rated one of the worst jobs in FBS football. The program don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of support. If they're not playing Grambling or Southern or JSU at home, they ain't drawing no crowd. So
I have another question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
What about Dorian Williams out of Tulane? Do you like his tape?
I haven't really seen too much of Tulane period this season, man.
I ain't watched Tulane beat the shit out of USC. Nobody
I didn't even watch the game, man.
I don't think they beat the shit out.
Well, you know what I mean. They smacked him in the mouth. Not beat the shit out, but they smacked him in the mouth. USC should have won. USC should have won.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they should have won. They had it won. But like I said, man, I didn't really watch a lot of Tulane football this year. The one thing, and this is just living in Baton Rouge, you ain't really gonna see a lot of football on TV if it ain't purple and gold. And Florida State actually was doing good this season, so that was my really only FBS football that I watched this season because I didn't keep up with a lot of people other than like box scores and stuff like that. I didn't even know Tulane was that good until like late in the season, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, and because it's like Tulane is like, I don't know how to describe it, man. They like a school that's they like on their own because they're they're a little private school in New Orleans, money school. They don't get a lot of athletic respect around here other than like baseball, so they don't really get a lot of attention in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they winning, like when they went 12-0 that year with Sean King with the Liberty Bowl, nobody talked about that team, bro. They didn't. So it's you just don't get the attention, and it's like they just get lost in the shuffle, man. So I honestly didn't even realize they was that good, bro.
What about UAB, man? What do you see them? Are they UAB Blazers? Are they recognized in Alabama like that? That's something else I want to know. Are they recognized like that?
Well, they recognized, but they, Bama is number one in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It is no question. Auburn is right behind them, but there's a nice size gap between the two. I know a few people played at Auburn, so I know how they view that place compared to Bama. Then UAB is like that third level, man, because you got to remember Alabama tried to kill a program. They really tried to kill that football program, and they was able to get it back. And they started, they went on that run they've been on, and they're a solid football team, man. They got a nice program. They are probably I would say the solid number 3 team in the state. They recruit well, and they were able to find something that worked for them, and the community supports them. So that definitely helps a lot.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Everybody been watching this local news about in the NFL. Eric Bieniemy. I feel like Ron Rivera is out of there. What y'all feel about that?
He should have been out of there.
Anytime you make somebody assistant head coach, you know what I mean? That's the writing on the wall, man.
I mean, when the man said, I think it was last season, and they ain't have no quarterbacks. You don't say that. That's a man that's saying stuff that he know he don't care. So he's a dead man walking, man. They had a solid team, for what they were, but they I don't think they ever gonna get over that hump, bro. So I don't know if they setting up the enemy for the job, or they gonna bring in somebody else. But I don't think Rivera. I honestly don't think he lasts through the season next year if they don't get off to a good start.
You know what I mean? And another question: how long does Mo got, Jamie G? How long does Mo got, man?
One more year.
One more.
Mo got one more.
One more.
Damn. You don't got one more.
Hey, you gotta look at it now. His boy gone, so Brian brought him in there. So he gone.
Oh man, stop it.
Man,
I never thought he was that good. I just didn't think so.
Man, I watched that team at Alabama State he had last season. They were not good, bro. And I heard some things about Mo behind the scenes. That no coach. You should not hear about no coach. Heard he like the green. You know what I'm saying? And hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you coaching,
helping his glaucoma out.
But when you coaching, you don't need to be in your office blazing up.
There's too many vape pens out here to be blazing up.
But you go, and not in your office, bro. Like you can go around the corner, down the street, around the track or something. But it's like I don't, like I said, I look at when a coach leaves a school and goes somewhere else, I look at how they react when he leave. A lot of people from Bama State was not upset.
Hey, see what happened to that volleyball coach, man?
The one at Grambling?
Yeah. What happened to her, man? Did she ever get another job?
Chelsea Lucas?
Yeah. I don't think she got another job, I don't believe.
Hold on. I got to think.
Because they kind of, once she left, ain't nobody care about girls and volleyball no more. Keep it real with you.
Chelsea Lucas.
But, like I said, I just, I know a lot of people in Bama State was not upset that Mo left. And when a coach leaves and people are not upset he left, that's a warning sign, man. And I that's something I believe in. I know sometimes it's gonna be, sour grapes because he left your school, but a lot of time with people like that, it's something behind it. And I was not impressed with what he had last season. I mean, that was his first year too, so he didn't really have a chance to build nothing. But he didn't bring anything with him,
So didn't.
Does McKinney get another? How low can McKinney have this year? Wins and losses. Do you think he just got an endless? You know what I mean? Cold chair.
I'm expectations, man. They're a motherfucker. Let me just put it like that. When people think they supposed to be in a certain spot, whether they deserve to be there or not, you have to start meeting their expectations. Because a lot of people wanted McKinney gone last year, even though they had their first winning season in like 4 or 5 years. They still wanted him fired, or if not fired, at least make some big coaching changes. So I can, if they don't win, I don't want to put this on him, but if they don't win the division, a lot of people are gonna be looking at him funny because they're gonna come in this season with a lot of hype. And the people in Houston, the people that follow Texas Southern, they really believe that this is their year. So if they don't get over the hump, if they don't beat Prairie View this year, if they don't find their way into the championship, I think a lot of people will be looking at him funny, which I don't really think is fair because the man took over a team with nothing. They was 0 whatever when he took over. And he had to build a team from the ground up with freshmen, and those guys are juniors now. So, it's steps to progress, but a lot of people don't want to see the steps. They want to take the jump. And they was not happy, and I mean, of course, losing that last game, they were not happy because they could have walked into the championship. But he can't come up. I don't think he can come up short this year. I think he got to win the West.
And me, I hate to keep this receipt, but I don't see Andrew Body as an NFL quarterback. I see him more like an XFL, USFL guy. I know a lot of people got high regards about him, but I don't think he got the right measurables and in the field of the game. I don't think he's like a Shador where he can play in the NFL. I mean, I love Andrew, man, and I know his family and all of that. So of course, I'm a little biased, but I feel like he's a guy that took a step backwards last season. Not necessarily his doing, but I don't think the offense did him no favors last season. His main problem his freshman year was accuracy. He didn't have a good completion percentage. I don't think they did much with that last season to improve that. I think they counted on his legs too much last year. And he's not that big enough to be running.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tall guy, but he's not, he doesn't have a lot of weight. So he should not be carrying the ball, 10, 15 times. I mean, you got two backs that can do that for you. So, I mean, personally, I would love him to run less and throw more, but they fell in love with him running the football, and hell, he got hurt running the ball. So I don't think he should be taking those shots like that. He's a guy, I don't think he has the best arm, but he has a good arm. He still is developing as a quarterback. He probably was a kid who probably could have benefited from a redshirt year. Playing his freshman year at TSU on a team that didn't really have a lot, that put up a lot of pressure. I mean, he had a lot of yards his freshman year, but not a lot of touchdowns. So, I mean, just take when they beat Southern his freshman year, he had 320-something yards passing, but he had no touchdowns. No, you throw over 300 yards, you need to have at least one, somewhere. And they scored 35 points in that game, so it wasn't like they didn't score any points. They just, the passing attack just didn't really get over the hump. So, I mean, when you look at the quarterback play in the league right now with Shador gone, he is, he is the best guy coming back. So, I don't know, I don't know what his pro potential is. I know he still got a lot of things to work on, and he could put some things together. He, like you said, I mean, he could be a XFL guy. I mean, it's gonna be hard for a swag guy to be a quarterback in the league.
You had crazy numbers
It don't even take. You look at Akil Glass, man. I mean, the dude didn't have the best foot speed.
Yeah.
That was always his biggest knock. But he put up tremendous numbers. 4-year starter, and he didn't sniff it. So that tells you what a bar is. So if you're not putting up,
I feel like in general though, for both of y'all, man, I feel like in general, this the FCS with look at Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? Me on the paler skin. He had a little hot little time, but didn't really do what they project him to do. Look at Trey Lance. You know what I mean? Was not ready in the FCS level. So the quarterbacks in the FCS level in general.
Oh yeah, it's tough.
It's tough to translate.
And when you take a guy from North Dakota State, that's a machine, man. Yeah. I mean, they went from Carson Wentz to Eastern Stick, bro. That kid was not that good, but the offense didn't fall off at all.
Yeah.
And so they have a machine. You can put any serviceable guy in that spot, and the offense is gonna do what they do because they're gonna run first. And then, the running game going to open up your passing game. And, Carson Wentz was a big kid. And, when you're a big quarterback, they're going to find opportunities for you. You may not be the most accurate guy. Like when Josh Allen came out of college, a lot of people were saying his accuracy was horrible. Trubisky, his accuracy was horrible, but they had good size. And, they're going to always make a way for you in that aspect. So, it's like you said, you have to put up big numbers in FCS, but then at the same time, people are going to look at the competition and hold that against you. So I don't know how you get over the hump.
Like I really don't know how the FCS will get over a hump. I like what Jackson State doing with Texas, State, but we're gonna have to have somebody that really push the needle for a quarterback to get drafted, man. I mean, with tough competition.
Yeah, you're gonna have to shine in those games. Number one, if you play an FBS game, you're gonna have to have a really good game, and then you're gonna have to have great games in your league. But you don't want to have ridiculous games because then they're gonna look at you like. I mean, like you look at a guy like Cole Kelly, he put up crazy numbers at Southeastern.
What happened to him, man?
And he didn't get a shot, really. It's like he had tremendous. He was 6'6". Offense was catered to what he do, and they put up crazy numbers. He ran the ball well. He threw the ball well. And they just hold that kind of stuff against you, man. It's like it don't even matter who you are. You drop down that level, they gonna kind of slight you. So I don't really know what you do, because if you don't put up great numbers, you're not gonna get a look, and if you put up too good of numbers, you're not gonna get a look. So I think it's just you got to be connected. Especially that's I guess that's why you don't really see a lot of FCS guys making it.
It's definitely crazy. What happened to the boy that came from Southern? Did he ever get any starts last year? Carter. Was Carter from there?
Tyreek Carter.
Yeah.
He started a few games. He had worked himself into the rotation early. I think like mid-season he got a few starts. He was pretty solid for them. He didn't really flash a lot, but he was pretty solid. I mean, they were really high on him from camp on. So, because he's a versatile guy. He can play inside and outside. One of the craziest things about that kid, man, he didn't even start playing football until like his junior year of high school.
Jesus Christ.
He was a basketball guy. And they talked him they basically, because he went to a small school, they basically talked him into playing football. So, he just developed. I mean, he's athletic, and he played on an offense that was geared around the offensive line, and he just flourished. So I think he's gonna take another step this season.
I'm gonna bet a lot of money on this year, man. And I think all of y'all, if y'all got DraftKings and FanDuel, where y'all at, I'll put some money on James Houston with these sacks, man.
Oh yeah,
give me that. Give me that.
I would put money on him leading the team in sacks, man.
Give me that bread, man.
I heard somebody say he had one less sack than Hutchinson in half the games that he played. You know, Hutchinson played basically the whole season. Houston played what, 6 games, 7 games?
Hey, Jamie G, this is why I'm so mad at TC, man. Why did you not want to let Jeff Weeks be the defensive end coach?
I don't know.
Man, this shit bugs me. This shit bugs me.
What happened with that? But Jeff Weeks is the defensive analyst. I don't know if Jackson State has the money. We don't know what the situation is, but
this is a whisper. This is a whisper.
Yeah, maybe he just wanted to analyze the defense, you know what I'm saying, from more of a standpoint. But I thought he was going to be the defensive coordinator, honestly.
That's what I was thinking, man.
But I don't know. But I mean, the guy that's there, but he has experience in the NFL too. So, you know, hopefully, you know, Alcorn defense line wouldn't have bad last season.
Oh no, their defense took a big step forward last season. If you remember what they were like the year before.
Right. That was not Jackson State defense with the pass rush.
Well, but if you look at what Alcorn did with their defensive line, they had, and I know sacks ain't the end all be all of a defense, but they had like 30 sacks. JSU had 45. So you can translate that with better talent. Right. Excuse me, I don't know, I got the sneezes. Thank you. But I mean, with better talent, you can make it work. I mean, Alcorn didn't have, they did it by committee, man. They had a bunch of guys with, you know, 3 or 4 sacks. So you got guys that you can cut loose, you know, you're gonna be able to get the numbers because they were aggressive. Alcorn defense is always aggressive. You know, they come at you from every angle. And it's been that way forever. So I think that can translate with better. I mean, you get better toys to play with, you know. It gets a whole lot more fun dialing up them blitzes. So I think as long as JSU stay aggressive, they're gonna be good on defense.
That's all I'm kind of worried about, man. I'm just hoping that defense will lose its flair, man. That's what I'm worried about, man. Because TC's the offensive guy. That's what I'm worried about, man. I'm hoping they don't lose its flair. I don't want to go back to don't play no zone, man. You gotta keep that man to man, man.
I mean, I would say this, and you know, like you said, offensive coach, you just never know. But TC a JSU dude, and TC know JSU has always been defense, always strong defense, always really good guys and aggressive defense. JSU ain't never been a defense that play back off you. You can go back to like Darian Connor and all them dudes back in the day. So they're gonna come at you, and I think he understands that. And you know, he want to keep that JSU tradition. He gonna stay aggressive on defense.
Yeah, because even I like to hire with Alcorn's defensive back coach because man, they secondary wasn't the best, but I think with Jackson State defensive secondary, I think it's going to make that coach look a whole lot better because they gave that defensive secondary gave Shador some fits in that game.
Oh yeah,
I have a question, man. Is Guthrie going to be a free safety, or what's going on with that, man? I like him at the free safety position.
I think that's probably going to play.
But most likely, probably is going to be free.
And that's an upgrade. I'm just going to be real. I like Shallow, but he's not no free safety, man. I'm just going to be real. No. He can't cover a cold. You know what I mean?
He can't. The one I'm gonna tell you, man. The one knock that I always had, well, 2 knocks I always had against Shallow was one. He is a liability in coverage, especially if you got a good tight end that can work the middle of the field or put your backs in that spot. And 2, he was always looking for the big hit, and he would miss a routine tackle to try to go for the knockout blow.
I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm sorry, Cwells. That boy ain't gonna make it in the pros.
Don't apologize to me. He ain't my son.
I'm just saying. See, well, anybody see what he does, man. He might as well just become a producer right now. The boy's good musically.
Hey, he's not my son. He can. Hey, I'm not. If he got in there, he can go back and be a part of J5. So he already.
But I'm gonna say this right now. Prime striked out with them boys, man. He had one good son that was really a player. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That's not a bad average with a professional father, man. A lot of people over 2. A lot of people over 2 and 3.
The 3 boys, I give Deion Sanders Jr. He was a good little kick returner and shit like that. He probably could have made the XFL. I'll give that to him. But shallow, you know what I mean? Just nah, man. Ain't gonna be able to do it, man. And take that 2-1 off him. We're at 32 or something, because that's not it, man.
That's why Daddy be on his ass, because he tarnishing that number.
You know what I mean? It's just I'm just being real, man. And I don't know. I really don't see him getting any tread at Colorado. You can't. You do that shit with the big boys.
I mean, you go into a passing league, so you got a team like Utah. You got a team like Utah that use 2-3 tight ends in every game, and they throw to them. So they're gonna work the middle of the field. You got USC you spread all over the place. They're gonna work the middle of the field. You got Oregon.
Utah State.
Oregon State. They got Washington. They got offenses that's gonna air it out. So you can't have any liabilities in your secondary because they're gonna pick you apart. They got a lot of good quarterbacks in that league. They're gonna pick you apart. So you can't falter.
And that's why I'm kind of worried about them players on there like Cam. He's he's gonna have to gain a lot of, a lot of muscle. Even that Brown kid, that shit didn't make sense for me. Why did he go there? The one that got all them penalties at the Celebration Bowl. like nigga, you ain't that. You know what I mean? Like even why the fuck the long snapper going to Colorado? Like,
I'm gonna tell you why they go, because they smart, tough, fast.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's the only reason that they can win. That's the only reason, because of their character.
And he had a lot of holes to fill.
That situation makes sense to me because that boy's pretty smart. That makes sense. They got a good engineer program there, but like the long snapper, what the fuck you doing, dog? Like I never seen a long snapper hit the transfer portal in my life. So,
I know a couple. I know a couple, but not many. I mean? But I think it's more the fact that he had a lot of holes to fill, man, and he felt like let me get the people I'm comfortable with,
Even the ball hit a white boy. I didn't know the analyst he left and went there, and he's like the special team coach.
He took everybody but them red shells. They got. He took everything but them.
Get rid of the red shells. I'm like,
man, I never seen no shit like this, man. I was talking to my brother because he like I told you, he went to school at Morgan. He said, man, this is like prime, like Tim. What do you say? He's like Billy Graham. He took everybody.
He took everything, man. If it wasn't nailed down, he took it, bro.
Like I even seen the head trainer, dip the fuck out too. I said, yo. This is worse. I never seen nobody move out so quick since the Ravens left Cleveland and went to Baltimore. I never seen no shit like this, man.
I ain't seen nobody leave like that since the Colts left Baltimore, went to Indianapolis in the middle of the night.
Yeah, the Colts. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, the Colts. Like this shit is buggy. Like,
the man took everything but Wavy Dave, bro. So it's like they cleaned it out.
And I saw Jamie G. I don't know you looked at it. I see TC getting back into the showing a little bit of film and shit like that on YouTube. I think that's a good move. We can't lose that social media aspect, man.
No, you got to have that, man. You cannot. If it's one thing that drives me up the wall, is coaches not taking advantage of social media, bro. It's easy. It's free. You don't even have to run it. Get a student or your son or your daughter to run your account and just post stuff, bro. It's like it's free. It's easy. You know, a lot of these coaches still stuck in the schools, period. Probably other than Jackson State, FAMU, and Grambling that came a long way. Everybody else, they feel like social media, they still in that era where social media ain't important. Social media
can't get a signal down in some of these areas.
Yeah. I mean, man, I look at it like this. There's a high school in my area. They got, a lot of community support. They got the second largest jumbotron in the state of Louisiana. They social media page put Southern to shame, bro. Every Friday morning before they game, man, they have a video to reveal what uniforms they wearing. I mean, I know a lot of people not uniform people, but to me, that's something that kind of gets you, I love to know what my team wearing when I go to the game. It's like I'm just a uniform guy. So, those kind of things, man, showcasing your players, your coaches and things. You gotta get these people introduced to the community because a lot of people don't know who these guys are. So it's simple, man. It's simple. Just showcase a guy, man. If it's his birthday, recognize it's his birthday. You don't have to do crazy stuff to make it work.
And that's what I'm saying, man. It didn't take Prime to, do all that documentation and stuff, man. Y'all still can do that social media shit. Y'all still got enough. Y'all still got characters on that team, which can make people excited about watching it. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping they don't cut the ESPN deal because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to watch this shit. You know what I mean? Unless I go on YouTube and watch, Cut Day or somebody. I hope they don't cut that deal anytime soon, man.
They're not gonna cut it. Cause I don't. The money ain't right, but the league loves it.
What about that commissioner? How long do you think that commissioner?
That man ain't going nowhere, man.
You don't
think going nowhere because he doing exactly what they want him to do.
No, that's it.
Don't make no waves, don't get out of pocket, and keep the ship going, man. The SWAC loves to be comfortable. That's why the SWAC's still in Birmingham. It's comfortable. Birmingham get them a little deal here and there. They make them feel like they got it going on. Like if we all knew somebody used to work at McDonald's, man. They slide you an extra thing of fries when you come to get your food. They give you 3 barbecue sauces. You know what I'm saying? So that's all they doing, man. Birmingham only throwing you an extra little something here or there to make it look like it's worth it, and they fall in love with it, man. They just like to be comfortable. And he keeps them comfortable. He's not making no waves. He's not making no big mistakes as far as they're concerned. So they don't have to worry about nothing because the president don't care.
Do you think they cutting that coaching conference? Am I still gonna be able to watch that next year?
No, probably over.
You probably ain't.
I ain't doing that shit, man.
They can have it at my house next year, bro. And I don't even live in a big house. They can have it at my house. Because ain't nobody gonna be there, man. I mean, let's keep it real. Prime brought those people.
What about the SWAC Media Day? Is that shit gonna be dead?
All that's gonna be dead, man. Because Prime brought all of that.
Damn, dog.
I don't know if y'all used to watch the Monday press conferences or kept up with them.
I'm watching faithfully.
You know who went last. Nobody cared about nobody. I couldn't tell you. I could only tell you one thing that happened in a press conference besides Prime, and that was when Dooley and the Baton Rouge beat writer got into an argument over the Prairie View fight. That's it. Nobody cares, man. These people don't. If you listen to it, it's always Dr. Cwells and maybe one other person and a local person talking to that coach. That's it, and maybe Blue if he on the. Other than that, that's all you getting is like,
Blue might not be on there no more.
Hey, he might not. He got a lot of obligations now, so he might not. But if you look at any coach, any of the other 11 coaches, they got like 3-4 people asking them questions. When they got to Coach Sanders, it's a long list of people want to ask questions. So it's gonna be different, man. I won't say it's gonna disappear, but it's gonna shrink. I'll put it that way.
I have another question before we get out of here. Do you feel like what's that brother's name? Coach Pugh gonna have a better team next year, or you feel like NCU is just gonna go back out, or you think it's gonna be more even next year?
It's Central's world, man. I don't know. I don't know if South Carolina State gonna have the horses on offense, man. Their offense was horrible last year, even with Shaq Davis.
Ooh.
So without him, yeah, I don't know, man. They gonna have to retool. I mean, I don't know how long. You know, I'm not trying to rush Coach Buddy out the door, but I don't know how long he gonna be there. You know, I think they need to start, you know, kind of making some kind of plans for the future because, you know, I mean, the man getting up there, I don't know how long you keep him around, you know. And if you got to start over, you might well start over soon with a new guy.
But you know, this will sound crazy to me, but let me get your thoughts about this. Vincent Dancy coming back. Do you feel like that's a possibility for him to come back to either MEAC or SWAC?
Yeah,
I think it's a great chance.
I think it's a great chance.
I got a conspiracy. I think this is to help him. I think him going to Colorado will to help him get that Valley stink off of him, man, so he can get a better job.
Yep.
I always felt like that, man. It's like the one thing I always said, and my dad always said it. He was like, you don't want to. Coach Dance is a good coach. You know, he motivates his guys. He gonna have you buy into what he's doing. But a lot of people can't get past their record. You know, you can say Coach Dance is tough. You know, his guys are tough until you're blue in the face. But if somebody look at their record and see he ain't won but 6 games in 3 years or whatever it is, people gonna say, is he really a good coach? Because they're not winning. But you look at what he was working with, it's a miracle they was in the games they was in. But he needed to get away and start over so he could come somewhere fresh. So I think he gonna probably stay out there for a year or two and catch him another job and be successful.
I got another conspiracy for you. I feel like when Ed Reed chill down a little bit, I feel like he's gonna go to Colorado.
Yeah, Prime is boring.
I feel like that. And I'm gonna throw another name at you. You gonna think I'm smoking some crack rocks? I feel like him and Ray got a close relationship, and I wouldn't be surprised another person, a celebrity coach. I'm throwing a name out there, Reggie Wayne. Yeah. I can see him coming to the SWAC or MEAC. Look how many years he got as a receiver coach in the NFL.
Yeah,
that could be a major piece.
Reggie Wayne's a Louisiana guy, man. So I'm gonna back him. But so one of these jobs in Louisiana might come open soon. So you just don't know.
It start with a D. And it would come over.
It'd be fun. I come to Baton Rouge and Coach Dooley working at Miss Lucky's.
Hey, Baton Rouge is a strange place, bro. We don't play down here, man. You know, people give you silent warnings, man. You don't realize that your rope is getting short until it's around your neck.
Don't tell me you're gonna be working at some Dodgers chicken at the gas station as a GM. You ever had some Dodgers chicken? Man,
I'm telling you, man. A lot of people, you know, if things don't get better, and better, better is relative to everybody. But if things don't get better,
so people gonna be looking. Coach Reggie ain't gonna take the bullet for him.
Man, in Baton Rouge, man, can't nobody take bullets for you, man. A bulletproof vest can't take bullets for you, bro. And we're gonna be looking.
Pete ain't gonna take the charge for him.
Man, nobody taking a charge for nobody, man, because it's all about self. You don't want to be caught up in no crossfire around here, man. And the basketball coach gonna be right there behind him. So, he might beat him out the door because that man's almost just about gone. Y'all heard that here first.
All right.
He might be gone before the end of the season. I mean, he was supposed to be fired last season, but he weaseled his way out of it. So don't be surprised if y'all see Southern basketball position come open by the end of the season. So that's my little tidbit for y'all. Because people are already looking for coaches right now. I'd have had people that I know and trust that are really connected at Southern ask me to send a list of the coaches that they could recommend for the job. So
all right, man. Before we get out of here, break it down. Jamie G, you go first, man. What you got coming up this week, man?
Man, I was thinking about doing that little thing we did like last week, either tomorrow or Wednesday if anybody's available.
All right, well, let
around
me know.
8 p.m. the same time.
8 p.m. your time?
I might can do it tomorrow, but I got a couple things I'm working on. I'm trying to. I got a couple interviews I'm trying to nail down. So if they come through this week, I'm gonna be booked solid this week. Cause I got a couple big joints coming at y'all, bro. I mean, I ain't mean to jump in Jamie G spot, but
damn, you got a couple. Shit on me. You didn't have shit on me either, man. I got the government baloney.
I got
cheese on it,
bro. I came from out the mud now, man. I came out the mud too, so I'm trying to bask in some of it. But man, I got a couple. I don't want to jinx them yet, but I got a couple big things on the line. Talking with a couple big name dudes out the SWAC to try to get them on the show in the next week or so. But if ain't nothing going on, I might be able to do one of these 2 days. I'm not sure yet. But go ahead, man. Let me get back in my spot. Let you finish, man.
Yeah, man. But I was thinking about too. As these spring games start approaching, too, try to get some insight and find whoever the inside man is on some of these teams, and so we can talk about some of these spring games on my channel as well. Kind of preview some of these spring games. So hopefully I'll be working on that too within the coming weeks as well. So
yeah, that's what's up. That's a good idea, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I ain't really got much going on, man. I might hit Valley Saturday as well too, because I think J State and Valley playing that game. I ain't never been to Itabena to their gym, so
yeah, I think that's Saturday.
Yeah, I might check that out. So I might throw something on the fly. Swag Smoke Thursday. So
yeah, that's always coming. Me, man, like I said, I'm working on a couple things. I will say I'm working on getting the. I don't know if y'all ever watched Valley basketball on YouTube or y'all heard about the dude that do the announcing, the young. We used to play football at Valley. Guy. Yeah, so I'm talking with him now to kind of get him on the show to do an interview. So I got that coming, and like I said, I got a couple big guys I'm working on, bigger than I normally get. So I'm a little hyped about that. I'm gonna be doing a basketball show this week. Do my every year I do like a big breakdown of the standings in the last week of the season, and I go over all the scenarios and seedings and all that stuff. So I got to start working on that tonight after the games. Like Jamie G said, swag smoke, and then I'm gonna pretty much be in basketball mode next week. The tournament start next week, so I'm probably gonna be in basketball mode most of that time.
All right, man. All right, me. It's the regular show for me tomorrow. Me. I'm the king of Nashville. I'm Uncle Luke of YouTube. So come check me out at 8 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to talk about rubber tugs. I'm the King Nasty. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm about to check that out, man.
You know what I mean?
That was funny, man. That was something. I ain't gonna lie, that was entertaining, man. I'm gonna check that out, though.
You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I gotta get the people what they want because I'm trying to keep the lights on. You know what I mean? I do sports, but the sports don't keep the lights on. You know what I mean? So
if you got if you got another avenue, man, you gotta take it.
I gotta take it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all fellas coming on, man, and we're gonna tap back in next Monday, and I don't know what to tap into, but we're gonna figure something out.
We'll work it out.
Before we get out of here, dog, what happened to that motherfucking girl that got drafted? She disappeared.
You talking about Misha?
Yeah, where she at?
She was
She pregnant again?
Yeah, she had a baby.
She was at Jackson State. Yeah, she was at Jackson State game this past Saturday because they presented their rings, and she was pregnant again.
God damn.
Yeah, she getting it in, man.
I think she probably got cut. I think she got cut, man.
Yeah, she had got cut in camp. And she didn't get no other opportunity after that.
God damn, the WNBA is over with, I guess.
Yeah, they savage.
At least got the degree.
Yeah.
But before we get out of here, I appreciate y'all fellas coming on, man. You know, it's been another episode of Rod Presents the Swag Homies. You know, the Jamie G with the soldier rag and the Mardi Gras beads. You know what I mean? I can't get those no more. You know what I mean? I can't use them. I'm not trying to go 0-2. I'm not trying to go 0-2. I go to Mardi Gras. I'm gonna go to King of Diamonds. But I appreciate y'all fellas coming on, man. And it's been another episode, and we out.
Hey, catch y'all later.